Alrighty, so I wanted to address the episode 4 trailer a lot more in depth here because I've been analyzing this quite a bit to try to understand some of the story a little bit, looking at the synopsis for future episodes and all that to kind of understand what is happening here. And I do think I know what happens here in terms of Daryl ending up at the Reaper's camp, because I think some of it is actually misleading. Like, you have a shot like this where you do see Daryl hunting down this Reaper, and it almost looks like he escaped the Reaper's base and he's like looking around, right? Like he's like snooping around the base. But no, I don't even think this is at the Reaper base. I think this is still the night of the Reaper's battle, right? I do still believe that this is what's going on here. And so, yeah, anyways, there's a lot to talk about here. So obviously, this will contain spoilers for episode 3, episode 2, and episode 1. But this won't contain spoilers really a lot for episode 3, just because I don't want to talk about the whole Maggie and Negan thing there, and Daryl's not really in the episode at all. So what happens in 3 is not going to really pertain to this video, but I obviously am going to talk about certain aspects and what that could mean in episodes like 6, 7, and 8 specifically. But yeah, anyways, this is your spoiler warning. Also, if you are new here, make sure to be a subscriber if you want more Walking Dead content like this. And also, I noticed that you guys really like timestamps. At least it seems like it from the comments. So if you guys want me to continue doing timestamps, just let me know down below in the comments. I'd really like to see a response to it, because people seem to really like it, and it also seems to enhance more of the viewing experience, right? In the sense that you guys can skip my boring intro I always do. But yeah, just let me know down below. But let's actually get into the trailer here. So I actually wanted to read the episode 4 synopsis and start off with that. So episode 4 synopsis is obviously, the episode is titled Rendition, and the synopsis reads, Daryl and Dog get captured by the Reapers. They are taken to the Meridian and reconnect with a familiar figure from their past. So that right there confirms that, yeah, they're going to meet someone from their past, and it's going to be a familiar person. Obviously, it's Leah, right? Like, obviously, Leah's appearance in the bonus episodes, like, they tease it then, they tease that we were going to see her, and I mean, this just looks like Leah. You can tell by the eyes, like, it's obviously Leah. Like, yeah, I don't really think it's up for debate, but I still see those comments. But anyways, it seems like from the narrative of the Reapers, like, you see this shot here, you have I guess a Reaper here saying some type of prayer because of a fallen Reaper, and it almost seems like with the Reapers, they are a very close-knit group. They're a small group, and we heard them talk about that. They talked about that in episode 2 or 3, I believe. I think it was episode 3. They talked about the Reapers being a small group. And so I think what that means is that they are all a family. Like, they are a family that if they lose someone from their family, it affects them so much, and they want revenge, just because Pope seems to be very, very pissed off about this. He seems very upset that this person died, and he wants vengeance. He wants them to unleash their wrath on Maggie and this group. And so, like, this is the interesting thing about it. I do wonder if this guy is the person that Daryl is fighting, and so maybe Daryl kills this person, and that's a big reason why he was captured, right? Because it makes no sense as to why Daryl was captured. If you think about it, the Reapers should have just killed everyone, right? But for some reason, they captured him. So I have questions there. Why capture him? Why not kill him? Because usually you should just kill him, right? That's most likely what they would have done. So yeah, I'm really interested in that. I also wanted to talk about, like, when is Daryl kidnapped in the episode? It seems like it's going to be happening earlier on. It looks like most of the footage that we have in here actually is just from the early part of episode 4. That a lot of what actually happens later on with the Leah reveal and all of that, actually, you know, that's more like trial stuff. We're going to learn a lot more information there, but at first it's not going to go down that way, because we do see Daryl here. Like, this is kind of the way I see it playing out. So I'll go through it and explain how I think all of the shots in the trailer are going to play out, like, in order. We're going to see Daryl, at least judging by his backpack and his bag, because it seems like when he's actually at the Meridian with the Reapers, he doesn't have his backpack in his bag. So because he has it here with Dog, and yes, there's a Reaper there, it looks like he's kind of snooping around and spying around this base. I don't think it's the base at all. I think it's just a random location, and he's sneaking around hiding because there's a Reaper somewhere. So I believe we're going to see at the end of episode 2, we're going to see him escape and get separated from that Reaper attack. It's going to be something that kind of builds, like, overnight kind of thing. I think he's going to fight this Reaper because it's a lone Reaper. I think it's going to be a pretty crazy fight. He's going to fight the Reaper, and maybe he kills the Reaper, and that's the way he gets blood all over him. And then I think something's going to happen to Dog, but maybe not. It could be misleading, right? It's very possible that like something happens to Dog goes missing, and so Daryl stays around the area. He has like blood all over him because of the Reaper or like dirt or whatever. He's hiding from the Reapers overnight. And then I think, I mean, it's confusing because it could be misleading, right? Like maybe it looks like something happens to Dog, but Daryl kills the Reaper right away. And so Dog is safe, and then they sleep in this spot overnight. And then in the morning, he wakes up, Dog's missing. He goes and looks around. And then that's where he sees Leah here. And then he is kidnapped, right? After that brutal fight, the Reapers are around. Leah sees him. Leah knows it's him, obviously. And then a Reaper like knocks him out, puts a bag over his head, and then obviously takes his bag, takes his crossbow. And I think that's where we see him going to the Meridian. I believe this will happen about 10 to 15 minutes into the episode. Like, I kind of think that we're going to start off with the Reaper battle from episode 2. It's going to build up to fighting this Reaper. It's going to be this whole big action thing, and then the opening credits will roll. And then the next shot basically is this shot here where he sees Leah and then is kidnapped and taken to the Reaper's base. And then most of episode 4 is going to be them at the Reaper's base. We're going to see Pope. We're going to learn a lot more about them. There's going to be the whole Leah reveal in the episode because I feel like they have to reveal it in the episode. And I do think they're going to. There's this final shot of the trailer, and it shows Daryl with this wooden house or structure that's on fire. And I really actually think that this is a part of the trials, like the Pope trials or the Reaper trials for Daryl, because Daryl is going to join the Reapers. He's not going to join them because he wants to like become evil or anything like that. He's joining them obviously to survive. He's joining them because Leah's there, and I think he wants to learn more about this group, maybe take them out from the inside. There is definitely that aspect to it, because if you actually look at the synopsis for episode 6, and I'm ignoring everything else here because obviously it's a Connie episode, but we are going to get Daryl and Pope, and if you see in the synopsis here, Pope tests Daryl's loyalty to the Reapers with a conflicting mission. So what is that? It's going to be something about hurting Maggie or something like that, right? So Daryl's gonna, like, obviously he has to, if he's gonna stick to his plan, he's gonna have to do something that may actually hurt someone that he loves, right? Like his family. And so, yeah, it depends. I mean, maybe it's with Leah, right? That's also possible. When you actually go to episode 7 here, Promises Broken, the synopsis reads, Daryl learns more about Leah and the Reapers. And so right there, first of all, Leah, right? That practically confirms it. It's in the synopsis here. Actually, if you look at the synopsis a lot more, it says like Maggie and Elijah. So Elijah is going to live. It looked like he died in episode 3, but I guess they're going to find him at some point. So Maggie and Elijah learn a new survival tactic from Negan. That's the Whisperer mask thing. Eugene's group clears walkers to pay their fines. So that's some stuff related to like the fake Stephanie storyline. Yumiko interviews for upper class job. That's the lawyer stuff. And at this point, she'll likely have already met her brother, or I guess is reunited with her brother. And then afterwards, around here, I think in episode 7, we're going to meet Pamela Milton, or we're going to meet Sebastian Milton. It's going to be around this point, like episode 5 or 7, we're going to meet the Miltons. And then, yeah, Gabriel encounters a man of God. I have no idea what that's about. When we go to 8, it says, and this would be the mid-season finale, but it is the finale for part 1. So this is airing October 10th, which means we're going to watch it on the 3rd, but obviously October 10th for people on cable. I mean, I can't wait. The synopsis reads, the Reapers defend Meridian from an incoming herd. Pope suspects Maggie is behind the attack, while Daryl treads carefully. Alexandrians scramble to protect themselves when a violent storm leaves them vulnerable to walkers. So you can kind of see how this whole season's going to go, right? When you look at the synopsis here, you kind of compare it to the episode 4 trailer. It really looks like he's kidnapped. He decides to join the Reapers because the Reapers see him as a very valuable asset, right? Because it's Daryl Dixon. Like, holy fuck, you definitely want him on your team. And so you have the Reapers at this point trying to defend the Meridian. You also got to remember how episode 3 ends, right? You have Negan and Maggie out there. Elijah's going to join them as well. It seems like they actually at some point make it to the Meridian. So this whole first part is just them on the road. They are not at Alexandria. They're not anywhere. And honestly, I kind of like that. It is cool. For the longest time, we've been wanting like this road show. Like we've been really wanting them on the road and doing things that they used to do back in season 4. And if you think about the tone of this first part, man, does it ever feel like season 4, doesn't it? It has that tone of like that they're on their own, struggling to survive, and they're just out there, and they're so far away from home, they could die. There's Reapers out there, walkers, they're going to be dealing with a bunch of stuff. Like, it really feels like the back half of season 4 when they were on their way to Terminus. That's exactly how it feels, but they're all on their way to Meridian. Daryl got kidnapped and was taken there. Maggie and Negan are on their way there. You know, I guess we do have some story at Alexandria as well, but yeah, it looks like episode 8, For Blood, is going to be insane. We're going to have this big walker attack, and Pope is going to suspect that Maggie's behind it, obviously. This is probably where Pope dies, though, honestly. Like, I think the Reaper's arc wraps up here in episode 8. I don't think it's going to continue into 9 or 10. And I think by episode 8, or by the end of episode 8, is when Daryl and Maggie and Negan and Elijah, all of them are going to make it back to Alexandria. And I think that's where the Commonwealth show up. And then, Daryl meets Pamela Milton. And then it's like, holy shit. I mean, I'm really excited by that violent storm that's going to be happening. That's going to make them vulnerable to walkers. Because that's going to be like this giant storm happening over Alexandria. And then they're forced to, obviously their walls are going to get broken down. Anything that they've rebuilt is going to be torn down. And I have a feeling that's going to be the biggest thing here. Like, they're going to come back from the Meridian with some food, maybe with some supplies, but after that storm, after it rips down more walls or any progress they've made, if it destroys stuff, and then if walkers come in and kill a lot of people, I think it's going to be this huge disaster. And then that's where, when the Commonwealth arrive, they're just going to be like, holy shit, this place looks horrible. Why the hell do we even want to be here? And I think that's going to be kind of hilarious, like, considering the fact that Eugene has no idea what has happened to Alexandria, right? Like, he knows that the hilltop got attacked. He has no idea what happened to Alexandria. And so I think it's going to be funny for him to return with them and then be like, you know, like, he might talk Alexandria up a little bit. He might think that there's this whole thing going on. He might not really have any knowledge of what's going on with the Whisperers either. And so when he comes back and then he's just like, oh, the Whisperers are gone. Oh, there's the Reapers, a different threat. And holy shit, what happened to Alexandria? Why there's so many bodies everywhere and everything's all destroyed? And then I just expect this shot here with like Daryl with the fire in the back. Like, not exactly this shot specifically, because obviously this is from episode 4. But I expect Daryl to be standing in a position like this. And like, after dealing with the Reapers, all the walkers, this insane thing, and literally coming off of like fighting the Whisperers, he's standing here and all of a sudden the Commonwealth show up with horses and he sees Pamela Milton and he's just like, holy fuck, what's next? Kill me already. Like, it's going to be crazy. Like, this is the first time on the show where we've just went like back to back to back with arcs, right? Daryl has not got a break yet. It's literally, as soon as the Whisperer arc ended, right away with the Reapers and right away with Alexandria being destroyed and trying to survive and gather resources and food and crops and all of that. And then right away into the Commonwealth. Like, it's just like this literally constant struggle to survive right now and keep everything afloat. Everything that they built in season 9, they want to have again. And it just seems like everything is constantly getting torn down. And I mean, yeah, honestly, I don't really blame Carol for being like, yeah, I don't even know if we can keep doing this. Why don't we just leave? Because holy shit, you got to fight for something, you know, and I agree with that. But, you know, you can kind of see Carol's point of view here. It's just like, yeah, we're going to fight so hard, do this and have this for a couple days, for a few weeks, months. And then someone else is going to come by and destroy it all. So at this point, Daryl's probably just like, who the, are you? To the Commonwealth, because they just show up and he's just like, holy shit, now what? So yeah, I'm really excited to see how this is all going to play out. Daryl, it looks like it's going to be as of episode 4, will be at the Reaper's base for the next 4 episodes, and then in 8 he will escape. The Reapers will be defeated. Is Leah going to die at this point? We'll have to wait and see. Like, that's what I'm wondering there too. Is Leah going to die? I hope not. I really hope that Leah doesn't die. I think it would be so cool if Daryl could make it back to Alexandria with Leah, and then all of a sudden the Commonwealth are there, and then Connie's there, and then he's just like, oh shit, right? Like, I think that would be so cool. That would be super cool, because then Daryl has to explain Connie to Leah, and then how's Leah gonna react? And then I think that's where some of Norman Reedus' comments on, like, I can't remember the exact phrase he said. It was like, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. And I believe that is to do with Leah. I think that once Leah learns of Connie, once she starts to see that Daryl did kind of fall for someone else, and I think Daryl's still going to love Leah too. I think he's going to be he'll be a little mixed and confused on the whole thing, but I think that's where shit can get really bad. And then that's where you got to watch out for Leah, right? So, I mean, maybe Leah tries to kill Connie. Maybe it's literally like that. And if that's the case, I mean, fuck you, Leah. I like Leah no matter what. If she tries to kill Connie, she's a villain, whatever. But it looks like for the rest of the season, they are going in a very, very exciting direction. And episode 4 is the start of that. The last 3 episodes were more of setup for this arc because you kind of have to get into it all, set everything up that will go in motion for for this last season. And that's one of those things too that I will say, like, for the first 3 episodes, they kind of they need those downtime moments, right? Like, we got the Carol and the horses storyline in episode 3, and a lot of people were saying that was boring. Like, most of it was boring, which I would kind of agree with, but you need those moments too, right? Like, you can't have this constant action always happening. You do need to have it. Like, you do need to have some elements of it, some exciting moments, but you need those downtime moments. And the bonus episodes were kind of that, but honestly, the bonus episodes I just ignore completely. I don't even include that in season 10 because to me, they were just so boring. Here's Negan was cool. Some of them were cool. There was some really cool moments, but in terms of the actual story, I just consider it from like season 10, episode 16, and then season 11, episode 1. We jumped from there to there. And so they needed time to set this up. I think the subway tunnel story was perfect. Last week's episode 3, they actually get into a lot of Maggie and Negan stuff, and they kind of, because there's that important storyline. But yeah, from here on out, I'm definitely really excited. But I will leave it here. Obviously, this video is getting pretty long, I'm sure. So post all your thoughts down below. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video. And if you are new to the channel, make sure to hit subscribe if you do want more Walking Dead content like this. It's weird to feel like the show still hasn't returned. And I will say, like, the show's back. I think it's the airtime. I really hope that next year for the 3rd part, they air it in October. I have a feeling that they could just go with August again, but I would really like them to go with October because it still feels like I'm waiting for The Walking Dead to come back. And it's a little weird because it's back, obviously, but it feels like I'm waiting for it to come back because I'm so used to the October release. And, I'm kind of counting down the days until October 3rd and October 10th when episodes 7 and 8 air. And I know they're going to have Fear and World Beyond then, but I feel like next year, at least next year, maybe have like World Beyond or The Walking Dead, the final 8 episodes, and Fear the Walking Dead airing on the same night. I think you could do that, just for next year. World Beyond won't be on anymore. I think you could do that next year. I think that would be really great, honestly. Aired in October because that's when it usually airs. Like, it's going to be so weird. Fear the Walking Dead and World Beyond they're going to be taking The Walking Dead's usual time slot, and that's going to feel more like Walking Dead than The Walking Dead. So anyways, I'm going to leave it here. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Again, make sure to be a subscriber if you want more Walking Dead content like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one.